and welcome back to Lady Jane Books. Today, I'm giving you my horror books to read in 2021. Lady Jane was minding her own business. She was walking down the street on her daily walk, and she got the first whiff of a pumpkin spice latte. And this just inspired me. So I ran home, I put up all my little fall decorations, and I thought to myself, Jane, what new horror books would you like to read for 2021? So I put together a little list, and I'm sharing it with you. So let's get started. The first horror book that I hope to read in 2021 is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I believe that this is about a college girl who gets a ride from the stranger in order to go back home. And all things seem well and the driver seems friendly enough, but then things take a sinister turn. I have purposely not read many reviews about this because I really enjoyed Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, and I'm really looking forward to Survive the Night. I think this is kind of like an action-packed, cat and mouse, slasher, thriller, horror type of book, and I'm incredibly excited about it. I've heard that it has almost like a Hitchcock feeling to it a little bit, so I think Survive the Night by Riley Sager will be the perfect horror book to read for fall. The next book on my list is The Drowning Kind by Jennifer McMahon. Okay, I know that I have gone on and on about my hatred for The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon, but putting that aside, I do think this new book sounds really interesting. I believe that The Drowning Kind by Jennifer McMahon is about two sisters, Jax and Lexi. Jax is a social worker, and one day she receives about 9 calls in succession from her sister Lexi. Now, Lexi does struggle with some mental health issues, so Jax does not find this particularly odd. However, soon, Lexi ends up drowned in their grandmother's pool. And it turns out that she has actually been trying to uncover secrets from their family. I personally think that's really interesting. I love hearing about stories about people discovering family secrets and property secrets and all that. That just sounds like a lot of fun to me. So I put The Drowning Kind by Jennifer McMahon on my TBR. The next horror book that I hope to read is The Burning Girls by C.J. Tudor. The Burning Girls takes place in a small village, and this village is steeped with very mysterious history. About 500 years ago in this village, 8 martyrs were burnt at the stake, and then 30 years ago, a bunch of girls disappeared. And then a couple of months ago, before the story starts, a vicar committed suicide. So when Reverend Jack Brooks arrives in town with her daughter, she does not know exactly what's going on in this town, but it's obvious that something ominous is happening. You know Lady Jane Books loves a good creepy village story. She does. The small town with big secrets, that's the trope that I will always read. Now, if you're a Lady Jane Books fan, you know that I absolutely adored The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. The Chalk Man I read last year, and it gave me like murder mystery vibes combined with Stephen King's It. It was so good. It was one of my all-time favorite books of last year. So when I saw C.J. Tudor wrote this and wrote A Small Town with Big Secrets, you know I put it on my list. There's nothing Lady Jane Books loves more than a small town with big secrets. I also feel like it's almost like a Salem witch trials feeling to it, with the martyrs being burned at the stake 500 years ago. It just sounds like it's going to be a very engaging read, so I cannot wait to pick up The Burning Girls by C.J. Tudor. The next horror book that I hope to read in 2021 is The Lost Village by Camilla Sten. This sounds so good. I believe that The Lost Village is about this woman who is a documentary filmmaker, and she has a family history in this really mysterious town. It was dubbed The Lost Village. And I believe that throughout history, the residents of this village were disappearing. And in fact, her grandparents' family disappeared. So in order to find all of the unanswered questions, The protagonist, Alice, takes a small film crew and decides to actually go out and see what happened for herself. I feel like this is going to be kind of similar to like the Blair Witch Project, and I loved the film The Blair Witch Project. So when I read the synopsis and I saw that it was about a village whose residents were disappearing, you knew that intrigued me. I want to know where these residents are going. I want to know what happened to the protagonist's grandma. I basically want all the secrets revealed. So I am hoping to read The Lost Village. The next book that I am incredibly excited about is Chasing the Boogeyman by Richard Chizmer. This sounds so different. I believe it is kind of a metafiction mixture of true crime and horror and fiction. Chasing the Boogeyman is about a small Maryland town in the 1980s where several missing girls turn up dead. Law enforcement is convinced that this is the work of a deranged serial killer. But as the story unfolds, it becomes an even more terrifying tale. I am so excited about Chasing the Boogeyman. It has been described as kind of this mixture of true crime, horror, fiction, so I think that's an incredibly unique mix, and I want to read Chasing the Boogeyman by Richard Chizmer. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And for some reason, this just inspired me. Why is my sleeves different? I don't like this. Wardrobe malfunction. The next horror book that I hope to read in 2021 is The Lost Village by Camilla Sten. What's her name? I forgot who the author was. Oops. Camilla Sten Jane. Okay. I love how my fall is basically like, look at all these serial killer books and a pumpkin spice latte. That's it. The next book that I am incredibly excited for is Chasing the Boogeyman by, I forget his name, Richard Chizmer. Okay. I love how I'm sitting here in a sweater and it is 70 something degrees out right now. Lady Jane life.